Up to this point, everything you've learned could still feel theoretical. So before we move on, I want to show you what this system looks like when it meets a real team, real constraints, and real skepticism. You might be thinking this framework sounds good in theory, but does it actually work when you are dealing with actual teams and organizational dysfunction? Let me show you what happened with the team I worked with directly. Here is what it looks like before anything changed. Sprint 1 through 4, same pattern every single retrospective. The team identified 3 organizational impediments. Every time, the same 3. They needed a dedicated test environment because they were sharing with 2 other teams. They needed architectural decisions on a cross-team dependency, and they needed tooling approval that required procurement budget. All legitimate problems and real blockers, right? But here is what they did with those problems. They created action items, follow up on test environment request, check with architecture team, and research tooling options. Those items sat on a list for 6 months, incomplete. Not because the team was lazy, but because no one of those items were actually executable by the team. Okay? And meanwhile, they also had vague team-level improvements. Improved communication, better code quality, those sat there too. No acceptance criteria, no owners, no completion. By Sprint 4 retrospective, attendance had dropped from 100% to 60%. Developers who still showed up were visibly disengaged. They stopped believing anything would change. And Scrum Master, she was struggling in performance conversations. When her manager asked what value she was adding, she had nothing concrete to point to. Okay? Just, I facilitate retrospectives and I coach the team. That's the before state. Dysfunction, but completely predictable dysfunction. So here is what changed in Sprint 5 through 8 after implementing this system. First retrospective with the Locus of Control framework, they categorized those 3 organizational impediments into quadrant 3. Okay? The team stopped trying to solve them. The Scrum Master escalated them formally using business impact framing. Result? 2 of them got resolved within 3 sprints. The third one got formally acknowledged as a constraint the organization wasn't going to change. That sounds negative, but here's why it actually mattered. The acknowledgement gave the team permission to stop spending emotional energy on something they couldn't change. They got closure without needing a solution. Now, here's the team-level work. They committed to 9 improvements action across those 4 sprints using the sprint integrated tracker. They completed 8 of them, not vague intentions, specific actions with acceptance criteria and impact measurement. So here is what changed. And this is where it gets concrete. They added PR size guidelines. Average review time dropped from 3.2 days to 1.2 days. They created an acceptance criteria checklist. Escaped defects dropped 40%. They changed their stand-up format. Meeting went from 25 minutes to 12 minutes consistently. Overall cycle time improved 25%. That's measurable delivery acceleration. Retrospective attendance back to 95% by Sprint 8. Team started believing retrospective produced real change because they kept seeing completed improvements. And the Scrum Master, She walked into her next performance review with the improvement impact log. She showed her manager the documented improvements, the measurable results, the team transformation data. She received formal recognition for demonstrating tangible impact. Same team, same organizational constraint, a totally different system. Nothing improved because people cared more. Everything improved because improvement work finally had a structure, ownership, and visibility. That's what changes when you stop collecting ideas and start running an improvement mechanism. You don't need organizational buy-in to start this. You don't need permission. Okay? Remember that. In the next section, I will show you exactly how to run this in your very next retrospective, even if your team is skeptical, and see your first measurable result within 2 weeks. I'll see you there.